Hi everyone, this is Valerie. I'm going to show you a little bit about vocabulary and how to use it. And then hopefully you'll have some time to play around with it yourself and get yourself more familiar with it. So Vocabulary is a site that you can use to engage your learners in almost every subject area. So I'm going to quickly just go through the slideshow, which I did send to you too, so that you can go along with it in a separate tab if you'd like to. But why vocabulary? So every lesson has music that it infuses into the curriculum so that it helps students engage with the content and helps their memory and helps their brain remember the content. So in addition to that, there's also academic vocabulary that they reinforce to help with a deeper understanding of the content, and assignments that you can assign to the students. They can access them easily using any type of device, even a phone, as long as there's Wi-Fi. And as a teacher, you can track and reassign work if you desire. So basically what vocabulary has done is bringing the content and vocabulary of a topic to the engagement of the kids through hip hop music. So apparently, Dr. Joyce Brothers said years ago that music helps remember things because it's stored in long-term memory. So we can remember things that are put to music. So that's sort of the idea behind vocabulary. So it is engaging. It has rigor to it so that you can differentiate from very simple assignments to more complex ones. And it is aligned to all the standards and the 21st century skills that you're going to want to teach. So today what I'm going to show you is, well, what it is, which we've kind of already gone over, and how to set up home-based assignments, or assignments in general, really. They can be done at home or in school, and how the students can access them, and then how you can review the results. So that's what we'll do. So first off, I want to just show you how to log in. So what you could do is open up another tab and go along with this webinar as I'm speaking, or if you wanted to just go through the webinar with me, listen to it, and then when it's done, go back through it again. But signing in is with your Google account. So I've already signed in to Vocabulary on another tab, and I have this setting lesson up. So I just want to show you just briefly what this looks like. So the setting lesson looks, let me just get out of this screen. Okay, so the setting lesson is what we're going to go through. This is the main screen for every lesson. It starts with a video, which is the larger part of the area, and then alongside are all the activities. Okay, so the video sounds, most of them sound similar to this one, so I'm just going to play a little bit of it.
Where are we? Huh? I'm sitting, leaning, living, breathing, thinking about the book that I finished reading. I dug the characters and liked the plot. Was anything else important? Probably not. Wait, what about the setting? The setting is the one I'm always forgetting. It gives us the where and the when, but it's mostly in the background. Know what I'm saying? Actually, maybe not. The setting might be more important than I thought. Here's the character.
So
His
this
name
goes
is
on
Todd,
for a
and
couple
here's
more
some action.
minutes.
That's a part of the
I'm just going to pause it because I don't want to waste our time. You can listen to the whole thing if you wanted to in a separate tab. But what it does is give the kids a tune to sort of grab onto with the topic. So this topic is setting. So most of the time, the suggestion is that when you're doing a lesson, to just play the video through once without any discussion. So you play it through once, just let them get the idea of the song and the words, the beat, and then you can go into a little bit more detail with it. So I'm going to show you the discuss mode. So let me just pause this for a second. Okay, so the discuss mode is what I'm going to show you next. And the Video will pause at certain points in the video, and it'll ask questions. So they're time-pegged questions. Students can turn and talk, or you can just send out a chat to the students that are remote, and they could answer in the chat room. You can skip forward and back in this, but let me just show you what it looks like. So here's the setting video. And
I'm saying, actually, maybe not. The setting might be more important than I thought.
okay, so this automatically stops. Here's the question: what's one reason that the setting of the story can be important? You can pause it for as long as you want, and then the students can answer you, and then you can just resume. If you just want to go through the questions, so you can go to the next question, and you can see right here are the different questions, these yellow dots. So that's the discuss mode. In addition to that, what you're going to have is a bunch of activities. So I'm going to just show you a little bit about how to search for lessons, and then we'll go through the activities. So searching for lessons is fairly straightforward. There's a lessons tab that drops down and has subject areas, and then areas within each subject area, and you can really drill down and find out how many lessons are available for each of the subjects that way. So that's at the top of your screen once you log in. The other way you can do it is through standards. So there are standards. It automatically knows what state you're in, so you would automatically be given the New Jersey standards, and you can go in and go through the standards to find lessons that are specific to that standard. It will tell you how many videos there are for each standard and grade level and all those things. So the standards is another way. And then last is just a straight search. So you could just click in the search box and put in a word, keyword, and you would get the videos that would be associated with that word. So those are the three ways to search. And before you actually start using this with your students, you're going to have to create classes. So to create classes, you're going to find at the top of your screen my classes that you would click on, and you would click either create a class, where you'd have to put your students in manually, or what I would suggest is to use the import a class, where you could use Google Classroom. So once the kids are in Google Classroom, then you just need to simply click import a class, and you can attach it to your Google Classroom, and then automatically the students' logins will be imported, which is really super easy. So when you're assigning an assignment, you are going to be able to choose which students get the assignment. So you don't have to give the assignment to all of the students. What you're going to see in the teacher screen is this assign tab. You can notice it up here at the top of every video has the assign tab at the top. And so you would click assign, and then you would select the class that you want to assign it to. If you teach several classes, like several levels of things, you could put them in separate classes, but each of your Google Classrooms would be a separate class. And then you can select all the students by default, or you can go down and drill down and find just the students you want and save that. And then the students will receive that assignment in their login. So that's how you create assignments. Okay, so the activities. I'm not going to spend too much of your time going through the activities and doing them with you, because you can do those, but I'll explain them and I'll just show you a little bit about them. So the first one is the video, which I just went over, and then there's the discuss mode that you can also incorporate into the video. The next assignment is called vocab cards. So vocab cards are pretty neat. They're like flashcards. This is the setting vocab card. So every video gets different ones. The words, when you click on the word or the picture, you're given the information about the word, a sentence, and then sometimes a picture, sometimes not. But the students can do these two things at the bottom. So they could write about the word to remind them something about it, or they could draw something about the word. And that's how the vocab activity works. It's probably very similar to, say, using flashcards. So they would be able to go through them and save them, and then they'd be able to kind of have like a connection to the words that are in the lesson. So vocab cards is a nice activity, but vocab game is more fun activity. So vocab game, which is over here, vocab game, is a beat game. So basically what you're doing with this is you are given a beat, and you're answering questions to move the beat along this path. And once you get to the end by answering all the questions correctly, you will be able to finish the activity and be given it finishes and it just tells you that you're done and your score. The idea behind it is it's while the beat's happening, you're answering questions and your brain is kind of associating the answers with the beat. And I guess it helps in your brain somehow to be able to get it sort of in there and not forgetting it. So that's the vocab game. And it's more fun because it's a game. The read and respond is not really as much fun for the kids. It's a lot like test prep, but it is really good because they allow them to answer the questions that are specific to the topic that you've chosen. And there's several questions. So in this one, there's 6 questions, and they are multiple choice, most of them. So you can answer them and they will tell you if you're right or wrong or not. So you don't get a second chance to answer the question. You just are given the right or wrong answer. And then you go to the next one and the same thing, passage, and you would continue to go that way. So that is the read and respond. And then the quiz is also a little bit like test prep. 10-question auto-graded quiz. It assesses content knowledge from the lesson, and you're given comprehension analysis. I'll show you that in a little bit. And it's good at the end, or maybe even as a preview to see how much your students know. And the quiz looks like this. 10 questions, multiple choice. These don't tell you if you're right or wrong. So you would take the quiz and you just keep answering. And then at the end, the students would find out if what score they got. So that is the quiz. And then the next one is probably the most fun. And this is the one the kids like the best. This is called Lyric Lab. Lyric Lab gives the students a chance to create their own rhymes, create their own hip hops. And it gives them the keywords, it gives them rhyming words, and it gives them a background beat. And they can choose the different types of background beats. So this is a lot of fun. It's a lot more creative than the other activities. And it works like this. I already started this one. So what happens is you type in a sentence or a phrase or a line, and then it'll give you vocabulary words. And when you finish typing, it will give you some rhyming words as well. So if it'll give me something. It rhymes, and then here are the rhyming words that they can choose from, and then there's a few more there. The beat is down here. You choose a beat. There's a bunch of different beats. So, they can choose what beat they want, and it's a lot of fun for the kids. They can perform them. They could record them and then send them to you that way. So it's a lot of fun for them, and I think that it ultimately helps them remember because they're creating the content. So those are the activities. So if you wanted to pause the video now and watch and go into Flocabulary yourself and play around with some of those activities, you could do that. The next step of this webinar is going to be showing you from a student view what you see. Okay, so student assignments works like this. They are going to go to Flocabulary's website. Flocabulary should be in their class link, so they shouldn't even have to type it in or Google it. I think it should just be a link in class link. And they're going to log in using their Google account. So they don't have to do much more than click on the Google, and they're used to doing that. Click on the Google account and click OK, and they'll get in that way. What they will need to do initially is join your class. So you have a class code that you're given when you create a class, and you're going to give that out to the students, and then they'll be able to put this class code in, and they'll join your class so that when they log in, they will see a screen that looks similar to this every time they log in. Any assignments you have given them will be over here on the right-hand side. So when they get to an assignment or when they see an assignment, they're going to be able to see it at the top and over on the right. So over here, I've logged in as a student. and show you what it looks like. So here's the assignment that I created, the setting assignment. There's a due date that shows up. And you also see at the top here, it does say assignment, and there's a 1 next to it because there's one assignment that's in there. So they can get to it either way. When they click on it, they'll be able to see the assignment tasks, the activities that you've given them. So when they're doing the activities, they'll know what to do. So they'll see the assignments. They're going to click on and open up the assignment, and then they'll select a task. So it looks sort of like this. When you click on go to lesson, it gives them on a pop-up the 3, I assigned these 3 activities, and click start. And then over here, you'll see the yellow dots. So you're basically having the kids look for yellow dots. And so these are the 3 ones that they'll watch the video first. I wanted them to do vocab cards and then do the quiz. So that's the way they would go through the assignments. Just look for the yellow dots. Okay. When they're done and you want to look at the assignments, that's what I can show you next. So I'm going to log back out of the student screen in and show you that next. Okay, so when you are in your teacher account and you want to see the student results, this is what you would do. You'd go to My Classes, select your class, select the assignment you want to see, and then you'd be able to see the summary, individual review, and comprehension review, which I'm going to show you here. So this is my login, and I created this test class. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to have this one assignment, and you can see here is a summary that people have submitted it. There's 1 student in the class. So they did the video, they did not do the vocab cards, and they did the quiz. So I'm going to click view, and you can see that this is, I'm my own student. So this is the student. In a summary, you can see what they did and the score that they got on the quiz. Okay, this button here, you can reassign it. So if they failed it or they did not as good as you wanted them to, just click reassign, and they'll be able to take the quiz again. Individual review gives you some options depending on the activities. So under vocab cards and quiz, these are the 2 that are available to you. So you select the activity, you select the student, and then you'll see a breakdown exactly of what they got on the questions, what they answered. So very specifically, you could go step by step over this. It'd be a good way to review it with the student. One-on-one. And then comprehension analysis. If I had more students in this class, this would make more sense. But basically, it's showing overall as the class how well did they do on the certain questions. So percent who answered correctly. If there was a bunch of students, you would have a different percentage on these, obviously. And you'd be able to see which students missed them completely, which students most of the students got some questions. So it's a nice overall view to see how your class does. And then over here, you can export the scores. So if you wanted to download them so that you could export them, you'd be able to do that. Here's where you can delete the assignment quickly if you're done with it. Say you've gotten your information, you don't need it anymore, you can just delete it. And if you wanted to change it, you could edit it there. So that's what those 3 vertical lines are for. So basically, that's what the rest of these slides are. So this is the summary, which I just went through of the overall, how the students responded or not. This slide just gives you the detail on how to get to the individual review. And then this slide is the comprehension analysis and what you can do. So those are the 3 ways you can go through your students' work. Now, what you can do is this link right here will take you to a link when you click it to try it now. So this is a quick way for you to go through all the things that I just went over. That opens up to this, and these are individual links to do the things that I just went over. So if you wanted to try that out now, that would be a good way to finish up, or you could work on it a little bit later when you have a chance, because you have a copy of this slideshow. I shared it with everyone. All right, so that's vocabulary. It's really great. Your kids are going to probably really love it. Just try it out, give it a try, and the more you work in it, the more comfortable that you'll get in it.